Okay, there we go. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dee Dee, and if you are joining us on the recording, this is a live Ustream show with live people. Yes, most of them are alive. Some of those corner dwellers, but most of them are alive. So anyway, I was just saying before I hit record that I got Hubsters downstairs working with the guy working on replacing some drywall where we had a leak in the wall and they had to replace the drywall. So that being said, I might have to step away for a minute. So if you're watching the recording, just, fast forward through that part. The girls here that are live, they don't mind if I step away for a minute to get coffee or, whatever. So I have a whole bunch of plans today other than showing books. And Paula, I'm so glad you got that map book. Paul, let me see. I didn't pull it out. Paula got this map book, and I did write down, Paula, a couple other books that you got. Um, I wrote down a couple of the other books you got, Paula. They're on my list. So you're just like the new enabler, right up there with Eileen, the enabler elf. Just saying. So anyway, yeah. Is this it? Yeah, Map Art Lab. So Paula showed this one on her stream the other day, and so I'm not going to go through it. So if y'all want to see this, go over to Journal Artista, and she has a whole bunch of new books she's been showing lately. And if you want to order any books, go to journalartista.com, and she has an A store. So if you buy anything through Amazon, anything, books or anything, if you buy anything through her A store, she gets, she gets a few cents for it. And she doesn't have any idea what you're buying or anything like that. It's not, it's just a way for her to get referrals. So just that being said. All right, so I did get some new color books. I said I wasn't going to buy any more color books, but when I saw this one, I couldn't resist at Barnes & Noble. I didn't even know this was out. I think it's called Daphine's Diary. It's a British magazine, and they have come out with their first coloring book. When I saw this, I had to have it. I don't buy a lot of Daphine's Diary. My mom loves that magazine. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but anyway. She loves this magazine. It has a lot of cooking and gardening, and it's kind of like a flow magazine as far as the graphics and stuff go. And they have, in the magazine itself, not the color book, but the magazine, they have little tags and paper things. And oh, good. Hey, Angel. So I was trying to move a generator so she could have internet for her show, for her Dee Dee fix. That's so sweet, Orla. That's sweet. Um, and anyway, you got you some Crayola, those markers? Yeah, with the scented markers. Yay, Suzanne. For $5.99, score. I know. Now tell everybody, Suzanne, doesn't the orange one smell just like Fruit Loops? I'm telling you. The orange one smells exactly like Fruit Loops. Oh, you bought this on Friday, Kathy? Oh, good. So anyway, I just saw that they had a color book. So I bought it. I don't buy the magazine. My mom loves the magazine, but it has, like I said, it has a lot of cooking and gardening and other things too. So if I'm going to spend, the color book was 15. I think that's about how much the regular British magazine is as well. I think it's about 15. But if I have the choice, I usually buy the Flow. But hey, Lisa, good to see you. Home from the lake, I hope. And it's pronounced Daphne. Daphne. Okay. Daphne. Okay. Thank you. So thanks, AJ. So anyway, but they had the color book, so I bought that. Well, while I was at Barnes and Noble, they had all kinds, and I did take a couple pictures. They had at least, I mean, and I'm not exaggerating, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, at least a minimum of eight, not even including the magazines. That would be nine. Where they section, no, 10, the children's department. They had at least 10 sections where they were selling color books. At least at Barnes and Noble. Now, I did take a couple pictures. I did not did not it was only 7 something, but I did look through it and I tweeted it out to Vicky. The Zombie Doodle Diaries. And apparently there's a vampire one too. I didn't see that one there, but it was only 7 something. But I looked through it and I tweeted to Vicky, but it's mostly they didn't have a lot of coloring. It was more like fill in things with doodles. I wasn't really impressed with it as far as, at actual play in the book would go. So I didn't get that. The color books or the zombies, Lindsay Whimsy, have taken over. Hey, my fairy treasures, how you doing? Yeah, so they're everywhere. So I did, here's another, this was just on an end cap. This was an end cap of some of the different ones. This is not even in the specialty section, like where the color books are, the activity books, the game and work books. They have everywhere. But here's some of now of course I have the Animal Kingdom one there. This one is a Japanese designs. Then they have, this is Splendid Cities. Now I have because of Paula, I have the Paris one. Well, this one, I'm not sure it's the same author, but it's the same size and same type of thing, called Splendid Cities. And then that's that Japanese one again. And then here is one with, what is that? I don't see, I can't read it. It's too small on there, but it's kind of like, paisley type designs. Yeah, I know I haven't seen a Halloween one, Lindsay Whimsy. Then there's Secret Garden. My mom has that one. She bought the Secret Garden one. Then here's Color Me Crazy. That's another one there. And then there's a couple mandalas and some other ones. There's tons of, mandala, however you pronounce it. But this was just an end cap. And, of course, then I also saw an end cap of everything Doctor Who. So I had to take a picture of it just for Carrie. Just because Carrie's a big Doctor Who, I don't know what they call him, Who something. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's all the pictures I got at Barnes & Noble. Okay. Oh, I will show you this. This was kind of cool. I found this on Facebook. Someone said, Lindsay mentioned something about Halloween. Now, I'm not a big Halloween person, but, I do pumpkin carving, and I help the kids, the grandkids, with costumes and stuff like that if they need me. But anyway, Annie, my daughter in California, she's an RN. She's going to do this for her friends in the ER and stuff. Look, Halloween pantry bags. So what an idea, right? Look. They're the plastic, the rubber. Well, they're not. I don't think they're rubber anymore. They're latex gloves. But look, they fill them up with candy. Where's Vicky? Vicky would probably. I could see Vicky handing out Halloween treats like this. This is so very. Hey, Army Mom. I could Jerry Ann. I could so see Vicky handing out treats. In that. Anyway, I saw that on Facebook, so I just had to share that. Okay. So anyway, I think that's probably all I got to share photo-wise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the new books that so anyway, what I was going to say is when I was checking out at the register in either side of the door were these books. No, this one was in the clearance section. This was in the clearance section over there by the zombie one. And then this one was at the door. So I picked this up like impulse purchase. So anyway, and then last week I bought the new Faces. This I got at my Books A Million. And I did see it at Barnes & Noble as well. But hey, Annabelle, if y'all have any questions or anything, put them in caps. Hey, Julie, I know her last name's not Topaz. So anyway, I did get this. I have not had a chance to read it, and Paula did a go through on her show as well with this. And I think no, you didn't do a demo out of it yet. I don't think, Paula. But don't think you did. But anyway, I did get this and haven't, like I said, I haven't read it or anything. Yeah, I've already colored. I did make a copy and color something out of this one. I'll show you that here in a minute, Vicki. So again, if you are just now joining us, Hubster's down with a wall worker. I'm just calling him that. I don't know. You know, he's a drywall guy, and so he's here for a while. I don't know how long Hubster can stay and supervise that. But if he has to go to work, then I'm just going to have to tell the drywall guy he's going to have to just come up here if he needs me. So anyway, you can see who has precedent and priority around here. It's not the drywall. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you the magazines. Let me show you the color books, and we can kind of look through the faces. And then what I thought we would do today is kind of do a combination of, you know, I have my big book here. This is the book that I use. This is my focus card. This is what came wrapped around the big sketchbook. This is the big sketchbook. It's huge. It's like 2 inches thick, and it's like 11 by 13. And this is where I got to watch, make sure the camera doesn't hit the book. This is where I've got all kinds of just, you know, little sketches and ideas for my posters. My fantasy animal posters are in here. But today I thought that would be fun to get out the art scroll and do a combination of like drawing in the art scroll some animals, but using some of the funny things that we have planned. I say we because if you're here watching, it's we. Like here we did a peacock here with quills in the head. Now I just did a peacock not too long ago, so I probably won't be doing that project. But okay, like we've got the alligator. She's holding an alligator bag, you know, things like that. And just all kinds, a beaver with a grill, braces, you know, stuff like this. There's hedgehog, Professor Hedgie. There's a squirrel on a skateboard with the iPod, and all just kinds of little animal ideas. Now this is the one. There's my hippie sloth. And oh, and we still got to do, this is another one. Zandra named this, oh, well, no, Zandra said the scarab necklace. I try to write down, if somebody gives a suggestion, I try to write it down who suggested it. But anyway, I want to do a Cleopatra fox. Now, I've done a few red foxes. I'd like to do a gray fox. So I'd like her to be a gray. The headgear. So you had to wear that when he was young? Yeah, the braces with the headgear. Yeah, but I thought that would be cute on a beaver. Anyway, now my fairy treasure's on the hunt for the Daphne. Yeah, I'm going to show those in a minute. I'm just going to kind of try to, I'm going to try to give some ideas of where we're going today. Maybe, hopefully. And I wanted this big ibis collar on her and a scarab necklace. If y'all haven't, I know everybody here has probably seen a lot of my posters. Let me just see if I can grab him real quick. Just for an example. So this is a sketch, and it's a sloth, and you can see how he has a 3-toed sloth and holding the piece on. So this was the initial sketch idea, and then this is what it turned into. Just for, you know, so you can kind of see. And it's big. It's a big poster size. It's like 16 by, I don't know, 20 maybe. And there you can see his little 3-toe sloth there with the embroidered jeans. And, you know, don't ask me how I know how this is supposed to look. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so this is based off of this idea, okay? And that's kind of what I want to do with, you know, a lot of these animals in here. And but at the same time, today I thought it would be fun. Oh, you know what? I have a seahorse sketched out, don't I? I would like to do something like do some more kind of this kind of fantasy animal, but smaller, just in the art scroll. Rather than doing a whole scene on a poster, just, you know, maybe just, you know, play around with some animal characters. Just to have something, just to have something to, smaller to do, rather than a big, you know, 6-hour poster. Hey, Eileen. maybe, do that instead. So, that's kind of some of these ideas that we have in here that's in the, just some of the ideas to play with in, there's our little, not gerbil, what do you call those? Not gerbil. Boo wants one of these. What are they? Somebody knows what these are. Not a hamster, not a gerbil. What are those called? Somebody help me here. You like to scroll on the skateboard? A guinea pig. Thank you, Lindsay Whimsy. It's my little lady guinea pig with her little mole and her red makeup. So, just to play around with some, different ideas. But that's what I do, just, fun little sketches. And that's what this book is. I kind of designated it for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through some of the books here that we have. And then we'll get crack-a-lackin'. Again, if you're just coming in, Hubster's downstairs with Guy fixing the drywall. We had a leak in the laundry room. They had to take some drywall out to fix the pipe. The pipe's been fixed. Now they have to fix the drywall. And so anyway, yeah, Professor Hedgehog. And so anyway, I'm just thinking that maybe we could do something like that. It doesn't have to be any of those animals. It could be another animal. And we can just kind of, play. All right, so again, this is the one that started me getting 3 more color books over the weekend. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. It's been decided when she gets her books out. Yeah, well, you get it. Oh, Jeannie's here. Uh-oh. No, Jeannie's already seen them. She saw them on Twitter, but she hasn't seen them. So anyway, this kind of reminds me of a Flow magazine, but this is a British publication, whereas Flow is a Dutch publication, and that's why they're more expensive. The Flow magazine is like 22 or 23. Their color book is like 25. They have their specialty books that are like 30, but they are, imported and published over, and they publish it in a few languages, I think. Dutch, English, maybe some others. And then this one, of course, is the British kind of thing, where they have all different kinds of, in Daphne's Diary magazine, they have a lot of articles on cooking and gardening and home and decorating and that kind of thing. Whereas Flow more is on like personal growth and introspective and, it's just a different kind of articles, but they have that same kind of feel of art and articles together. No, I know. I know Jeannie. So I'll just kind of go through it because I know everybody's anxious to see it. So what this Daphne's coloring book has is some doodle pages with some photographs with doodles on them, and then some with color book. So what I kind of liked how they did some of this. So I also went over the weekend and worked a little bit in this is my Freestyle Really Big Notebook, and it's I've shown this before too, but I did a few more things in here, like I used some of my Frida from the American Woman, I think it was, magazine. And I already have a lot of doodles and things in it anyway. And so this is kind of a combination of fashion and people and all kinds of things in it. So I kind of played in that again today. Over the weekend. All right. So let's get back to this. So you can kind of see, they gave you a kind of a sample here to color. But I'm just going to kind of go through it real quick here so you can kind of see. They'll have a bit of a photograph. See, like that's a photograph of a real cup. And then the flower. And, that's kind of like what I was doing with my fashion girls here. Like I would take a part of a fashion and partly drawn. So I kind of play around with that kind of look here in the book. There's another one of those Frida things that I added just different little bits. So, like I might take here's the face and the arms of one fashion, something out of a fashion magazine, but then I draw the rest. you know, or I might start with a drawing and then add the faces. So it's just kind of a, you know, kind of play there. So I took a couple of things out of here and just added it to my book over there. So you've never seen that book? The Freestyle Notebook? Yeah. You can get this on Amazon, and it's called the Freestyle Really Big Notebook Serious Creativity Collection, 800 pages. It's thick. But the paper's thin. It's a little, I'd say pretty close to copy paper thickness. Okay, but what I like about it is it has an index. It has an it has 800 lines for you to write what's on every page, and the pages are numbered. So I really like that. It's and it comes in all different kinds of different books, different colors. There's purple, orange, yellow, red, and they all have different kind of themes. This one is the freestyle, really big. Yeah, I think I got mine at Amazon. It was on, I got it for, I think it was 25, Vicki. I think I got it last year. And it's put out by, here we go, let me just give you the, oh, sorry. Give you all, I see the camera's glaring into it. But there's thinner ones too. There's some that are thinner with different topics. I can't remember right off the top of my head what the other topics are, because it's been like about a year since I got this one. And I haven't done that much in it. It's just kind of where I just add things to it as, you know, kind of like a combination drawing, glue book. You know, it's just like, that's what I have this one designated for, just like I have the big animal designated. I have different books designated for different things. So those are the ones I leave out, Paula. The ones that I've finished, they go on the shelf. I'm teasing Paula because she has all her journals like right at hand. Yes, yeah, add it to the list. Okay, so let me kind of keep flipping through here just so y'all can kind of see. It's kind of a combination doodle, draw, and color book. And that's what I liked about this. I love how they have photographs. And then, like, here's a photograph of this. Then they have the same bag here, photograph, and you're supposed to color in, you know, based on the photograph, which I love that. It's based on like a photograph rather than somebody else's coloring, which nothing wrong with that. But I mean, like, for instance, where's that? Like here, this is already colored for you, and then you can color it like they do or not. But then here's one where it's like a photograph. Got one of those for your granddaughter and have done lots of backgrounds in it for her to art paint. Oh, good, Orla. Yeah. And you know, if you do work with kids or not, I mean, I don't work, you know, my grandkids are, you know, 12 and 16, so I don't get to see them very often anymore. They're both very involved in school and booze and cheer. I mean, they are like, and they love learning, they love school. You know, Boo's all involved in her gym cheer, and she's in her school cheer. So she does double duty. She does school football cheer, and she does professional. You know, I call it professional. It's like, you know, it's a gym where you you learn like professional competition cheer. That's what I'm trying to think of, competition cheer. And it's almost time for our competition season again. So Nana will be, you know, visiting those places. Anyway, and then Cam, y'all know that he's an excellent artist, but right now he's in journalism and in the writing club. He's all into that. And so anyway, they're real, what I'm trying to say is they're real busy and active. And so I don't get to see them visit down here as much anymore. And they're an hour and a half away. So if I want to see them, I pretty much have to go see them and my grand dog. Right, Carrie? And and they are good to have the color combinations done for you on some pages as well. And there are books out, Rain. There are certain books out that are exclusively, you know, color blank, and you can, you know, match them or not. But I love this because of the flowish and the photographic type, illustrative kind of pages. See, like there's just a photograph and the towel's not colored in. So you can go in there and color that, you know, that gingham check. So I'm just going to kind of go through, like here's all the buttons. They're not colored in. You have to color them in yourself. So but then there's the photograph here of the real scissors and stuff. And I like it, you know, that's kind of like a little bit of what I do in my collage. You know, I'll take different bits of collage and I do paint overs over the, you know, turn it into a story. And then, you know, I add the animal drawings, you know, like the poster, like, you know, my sloth, you know, he's all, you know, hand drawn. But like that's a piece of collage. That's a piece of collage. You know, the hand is hand drawn. It's my hand. I just held it up and drew it. And this is, I believe this is on stream. I believe this is recorded and it's on uploaded to YouTube as well. I think it's a two-parter. It's probably about 6 hours. So, you know, be prepared. And yeah, so you can kind of see they have bits that are colored and bits that you know, fill in yourself. But I just loved all the graphic design of it, you know, I just loved every bit of this magazine. I went like this. I'm getting it. Didn't really have to think twice about buying this one. So, and then there's all kinds of little things to doodle and color, just so you can kind of see. A bunch of feathers. Yeah, it is, Tam. It's really, and look, all these drawers. So I'll just give y'all a look through here. So if you want to, like I said, I got this, there's a frame. I got this one at Barnes & Noble. And this right here reminded me of clip art. And again, I did a show a couple weeks ago on color books and clip art and how make your own color book or your own color book elements by using your old, if you are one that has a lot of old clip art books like I do, you know, take a picture of them, blow them up, print them out in black and white and color them yourself and use those elements in your art journal pages. So you have all these art journal pages that are beautifully, you know, backgrounds and jelly plates and all that. And then we just say, well, what can we do with it other than just put some, you know, literal journaling on it? Well, you know, use some of that clip art book. So hang on, Hubster's knocking at the door. I will be RB. Okay, so Hubster's going to be here for a little bit longer, and then I just told him to tell the guy that if he needs anything, just come up and knock on my door. Let me know, because I'm busy. Okay, so anyway, let's keep going here. So what I was saying, though, is, you know, if you have clip art, you know, whatever kind of clip art you have, you know, make a copy of it. And you can print it out in any cut. Now, you can scan it. You can photograph it with your phone or your iPad. Send it to the printer or email it to yourself and print it out, however you work your magic. And print out your clip art to use. Like, let's say you have a beautiful art journal page. Let's see. Let me find a beautiful art journal page. You know, you saw me do the steampunk one. It's kind of the same thing. But let's just say this is a piece of clip art. Well, let's just find a page here that's kind of pretty. Okay, so here is a partially done art journal page. Well, you can take an element from clip art, blow it up bigger, make it smaller, whatever size you want, color it, cut it out, and use it in your art journal pages. Okay? So, think about that. Okay, so let me keep going here. And I think this was $14.99, but look at this. I'm using these as part of, I'm not going to give you too much of a hint, but again, I will, when I'm done with this, going through this, I'll talk again about the file folder project that we're going to be doing in September. The second week of September, we're going to be doing file folder fodder project. File folder fodder. Say it 3 times real fast. And so these are my 12. It's going to be a 12-week thing, and all you need is 1 folder a week. Okay, so don't get all bent out of shape. Say, I gotta hurry up and buy all these folders and fold them real quick before. No, you only need 1 a week. And and I also mentioned that Packer Dye is going to be the main. She's got her, she'll have her own set to decorate, and everybody will have their own set to decorate. But Packer Dye, I kind of like. We got together and doing a collab on this, where on her set she'll be in charge of showing how she decorates in her own style, how she decorates the file folders based on the weekly theme. And then, and I can do the same with mine, but I'm going to be focusing on the innards of the project, and Packer Dye will be focusing on showing you how she decorates the file folders. So that will be coming up in September, but it's going to be called the File Folder Fodder. Okay? Yeah, and so anyway, these birds I'm going to incorporate into part of the project. So anyway, so just so you can kind of get the idea of the rest of this magazine. All kinds of fun stuff to color. And again, here's like a photograph in black and white of a rose, and you could pick one of these roses to color that way. But it's just so pretty, isn't it? Just so pretty. I just love it. And then this is a picture of all, their regular publication, Daphne's Diary magazine. It's a lovely magazine. It really is. But this is their color book. It's edition number 1. It's coloring book number 1. And again, it's a UK publication. So, and I got this at Barnes & Noble. Yeah, they're just regular old office folders, Rain. Plain old manila office folders, not legal size, but it doesn't really matter. Again, if you're in UK or Australia and you have those different kind of, A5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever sizes, it's not so important as the size of the folder, as long as you got 4 consistent pockets. And I already showed how I folded them and all that. I won't get into that too much right now, but I just want you to see it's just it's just a plain old folder like this. It's just a plain old manila folder. And I showed how I folded mine. As long as you have 4 pockets, that's the only thing. It doesn't, the size of them, it can be a little bigger, a little small, however you want to fold it. Mine, 4 and I think it's 4 1/4. Just because that's how it kind of divided up evenly. But just divide the folder up evenly as long as you have 4 pockets. Okay? All right. And again, that will be the second week of September. Okay. Let me take a sip of coffee. Yeah. An F with the 3 like cubed. Yeah, that would be good. Let me write that down. AJ's just full of ideas, I'll tell you. She is. Well, all you girls are. I wrote down about 3 or 4 things this morning to put in the Wingnut book. So, yeah. Okay. All right, so there's the Daphne's Diary coloring book. And then, so I was only, I was going to get this one. And then I came across in the clearance section the Inspired Coloring Travel. And this was like, I took the thing off, but I put it at $7.98. And plus, I get a little discount being a member. But I have The Secret Paris. And this is a square book here, whereas this is, let me move Daphne out of the way here. As long as I got something here for my camera to focus on. So I have The Secret Paris one, and I've shown this, and I've worked a few, a little bit in there. I don't necessarily do a whole page. I just kind of skip around and do whatever. What's the paper like in the Daphne? It's a matte paper. It's matte. It's no gloss. So it's nice and smooth for coloring on. Okay? It's all matte, no gloss, which you couldn't color on gloss paper. Okay. All right. Secret Paris is a double-sided book as well, and I've already gone through that. And so I almost hesitated on not getting this. What was the original price? I don't even know if it's on here, the original price, but I got it for $7.98 in the clearance books at Barnes and Noble. Yeah, exactly, Eileen. Okay, so the Inspired Travel I liked how it had kind of some like graffiti looking kind of aspects to it. This was published in 2015, and again, I haven't read any of it or anything yet, but it's just all different places around the world, and it kind of just gives that kind of graffiti kind of feel to it, and almost kind of like a photograph in turn. And this just kind of reminds me, I hate to say it, but I never did finish that PDF color book. But it kind of reminds me of that PDF that I wanted to do for you guys, where I took my photographs and kind of turned them into color books. Kind of reminds me of that. But now there's so many, a gazillion color books out there, so I don't know. I just kind of lost the zing to do another, something to color. I mean, and even mandala. Barb's got them. If y'all are looking to color mandalas or mandalas, however you want to pronounce it, Barb has a ebook color book for sale at her site. Okay, so anyway, it's got a little bit of everything. It's got all kinds of places and from around the world. It's not just one country or one place, but I just really thought this was fascinating. How they had just so many different. You like the square color books? Yeah. You have the Fantastic Cities. Yeah, I showed a photograph of that from Barnes & Noble earlier, Suzanne. Yeah, and they're supposedly coming out with Secret New York, like this one's Secret Paris. And then they're supposed to come out with a bunch of different cities, I think. So you can see there's Venice and the gondola. I mean, just a little of everything. But it's just, look at it. Isn't it awesome? And again, if you have any kind of the old clip art books, all kinds of little elements like this, just take a picture of it. If you have a direct link to your printer from your phone or iPhone or Samsung or whatever kind of stuff you got, you can just take a picture of it and then print it out in your clip art books, and then color it and use it in your art journal pages. Okay, kind of like we did the steampunk last week. All right, so here we go. Just kind of flip through real quick. But isn't it awesome? It's all kinds of buildings, architecture, and just little spots of like ink, here and there. So I know some of y'all probably already have this in your cart now. Yeah, like Paula. I so need that book. I know, Paula. It's right next to the zombie book. But like I was telling y'all earlier, the zombie one doesn't have all this like cool coloring stuff in. It was more like just blank things to doodle in. It wasn't like this. And I did tweet it to Vicky, but she said she's had it in her cart for like a year. But seriously, Vicky, I don't think you would. I just, other than the idea, the concept, because I know you like the zombie stuff. Other than that, I don't see you actually like using it. But that's just me. And then there's pyramids, and see, it's just a little of the Taj Mahal, just a little of everything. Yeah, I can so see Paula needing that book. And like I said, it was in the clearance section. It's like 7 something. So, Eileen goes, "Do you want the link, Paula?" Yeah, I don't think you do the things in it either, Vicky, but the cover of it just reminded me of you. That's why I had to tweet it out. Okay, so that was the second one. And then the third one that I got as an impulse buy on the way out, and I did see Eileen. Let me get this lined up. I gotta say, I did see Eileen show a picture of this from her Barnes & Noble. And I went, "Oh, that would be a good one, Eileen. Why didn't you pick that one up?" But anyway, I saw it at my Barnes & Noble right at the checkout. So as an impulse purchase, I went ahead and got it. And it's called The Classic Comic Book. All right. And it's like blank. And they do show the comics that they used here and here. So if you kind of want to like color them correctly, they have them. And again, this one was $7.98. And but look, they're like comic covers. So let me just kind of flip through them real quick here. And I'm sure they're not, Marvel or, I'm sure they're like, I don't even know who published. I'd have to look these up, I don't know who the publisher of the original ones of these were. I haven't read anything in it yet or looked into it. But I just love the idea of the covers, the comic covers, Yeah, Brenda Starr. Yeah, I know, right? Uh-huh. So, Buster Crab. All just kind of vintagey comic book covers that you can color. Comic book cover coloring. So I'm just kind of going through it. You can kind of see what's in it. All kinds of monsters and giant snakes and flaming love. Blazing West, the Big Three, the Blue Beetle, Samson, and the Flame. There's Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. Anyway, so I just thought that this was really just, for $8, there's a lot of coloring to be had. And if you like any kind of comics or Captain Flash, Catman, so you can see there's tons of them in here. So I did have a go with one of these. And I said, well, I don't know if I want to color it like they did it or what. So I just copied one page and cut it out. And so here's my version of it. I inked the edges and made it, and I'm not quite done yet. I put it, this is on a, I think it's 65 weight cardstock that I just printed it out on. And I did it with a little bit of paint and some color pencils. So you can see there's kind of like, I have not colored in the little octopus down here yet. I haven't done the spaceship or any of this down here. I've just concentrated on the title and the people. So there's kind of what, yeah. So I got to finish the spaceship, and then I want to do shades of green all different shades of green on the little octopus alien creature things. So that's just kind of blocked in with some lime wash for now. And then, but I did kind of concentrate on them and the title. And then I just shaded it and made it kind of look vintagey. You like it? So yeah. So that's what I did. This took me probably, I don't know, a couple hours just sitting there watching. I think I was watching Paula or something. Now who was it? Who was on yesterday? Was it I watched somebody yesterday for, was it Paula, I think, for about an hour. So I worked on that for about an hour then. But anyway, so I still have more to finish up. Her costume is red in the little picture here. Her costume's red, but I did it blue because it was too much red. I wanted some contrast, so I did her blue. So anyway, I just had to show y'all that, you know, it's kind of fun just to take, you know, something and just have a play. Okay, so those, all right, so the last thing I want to show is the faces. And again, Paula showed this a little bit on her stream. And this is put out by Cloth Paper Scissors magazine publication. And they changed, I now think it's just Cloth Paper Scissors. It used to be another published name. I forget what it was now. Anyway. So, thanks, AJ. Thanks, guys. It was fun. And so, I mean, you know, if I want to, I could cut these two guys out. I mean, the guys. I could cut the guy and the girl out and put it on an art journal page. No telling what kind of trouble they'd get in one of my worlds. All right. So, anyway, this is 15 projects for all levels. And this is a Dina Wakley cover here. That's I know everybody does it too. We get Diane Reevely and Dina Wakley because both their names do not pronounce like they're spelled. Anyway, that being said, let me just kind of tell you some of the artists that are in here. And I know Paula kind of went through this. So here's some of the featured artists: Dina Wakley, Deborah Stewart, Jane Davenport, Karen O'Brien, Pam Carricker, M.G. Stout, Jen Hardwick, Maritza Hernandez, Rebecca Anthony, Evan Lorenzen, Karen Winter. Those are the different features, okay? Rain said that the Dina Wakley article in here is wonderful. I have not had a chance to read any of it yet, but I'll just kind of show you, you know, they'll show you materials and all different kind of, you know, some color charts, some color mixing, and each artist features something else. Like this one is about how to draw the head. And so, you know, some little whimsical ones, all different styles and all different levels. You know, how to kind of grid it out. Then here's the Dina Wakley article that Rain was talking about. So just to, you know, kind of give you a little preview here. Again, in-depth article, in-depth step outs. So if you are one that loves to draw faces in different styles and different looks, you know, and if you've not got out your old face journal, is there anybody here that does not have their face journal that we did? That particular page just reminded me of it. All the different funny faces. You know, we have our face journal here. You know, your quick faces, remember? Grab this out if you want some more ideas. If you followed along with that project a couple years ago. Actually, that one's quite old. I think that was about 4 years ago. So, anyway. And Karen O'Brien apparently has out, Enabler Alert, has a new book out called Imaginary Characters, Mixed Media Painting Techniques for Figures and Faces. So now that just kind of reminds me also of, you know, the class that I took with, oh Lordy, what's her name? I got to think a minute now. Now I got this girl's name in my head. The class that I took a couple months ago, Sunday mornings. Rain or somebody can help me out. You pre-ordered this book, Eileen? What's the girl's name, you know, where I took the class? Do I have to pull that book out too? So here's my other journal, my 12 by 12 one. No, not Mistel, not Mistel. Oh, hang on, let me flip to the page. Y'all will recognize it when I show it to you. I did a flip of these last week. This class that I took, this is all, no, it's not Mistel. Hang on, I'll think of it. Oh, gee. No, yeah, and I went through all these pages. I showed all this last week or two. Mindy Wakefield. Thank you, Rain. Yes, Mindy Wakefield. This is from the class that I took with Mindy. Called Sunday Mornings 2. And I showed y'all this is all on the end of one of my streams. And I put a link to her in there, I believe. I don't think, not a direct link to her class, but to her blog, YouTube. But anyway, this is Mindy Lacefield. Mindy Lacefield. Sorry, guys. Dang. Mindy Lace. And I always want to say Lindy. Yeah, I want to get it backwards too. But let me write that down and stick it in here because I'll know next time I'm going to forget. Let me lose my chat here. Mindy, and I'll hold it up to the camera. Lacefield. Yeah. And she had a sale. I'd never taken, and the only other class that I've purchased online was Mistel about 6 years ago when she did her gut art classes. And but anyway, so Mindy Lacefield is the only other person I've ever taken an online class. Okay, and she has all kinds of classes, and she had done she had a sale a couple months ago on her classes, and so this class I think was on sale for like $25, regularly $40 maybe. And so I went ahead and took it, and it was, you know, they had, you know, a good month or two worth of projects. So there was a lot in it, and it was really out of my comfort zone to try to be. I mean, I can be messy on things, and, you know, scraping paint and throwing paint, but especially write, because I'm a calligrapher. So trying to write on purpose messy, that was the toughest part. But anyway, just so you can kind of, I showed all these pages or most of them. But yeah, it's Mindy Lacefield. And she has all kinds of classes, and like I said, this is the only one I've ever taken. It was Sunday Mornings 2. Yeah. Thanks, Carrie. So anyway, I just pulled this out because I couldn't think of her name. All right. Sorry, Mindy. All right. So let me put that little Post-it note down. All right. All right, so anyway, that being said, this kind of reminded me of the Mindy Lacefield look. Hey, Dottie. So, and then here's Pam Carricker, her article and her demo. Some ears. I think I hear Hubster coming up again. M.G. Stout. Faces in a Flash. Faces in a Flash. Now, y'all know you can draw faces in a flash. We do it here. We've done it here. Okay? So don't be giving me any excuses. And it looks like she's put this on like newspaper and book. Yeah, the newspaper. Yeah, I haven't read any of the articles yet. Have not read a single one. Here's like a dimensional 3D faces using, you know, all kinds of found objects. And oh, here this girl Maritza Hernandez. I'm not sure she did a grid. I'm not sure, but I see a grid there. So, like I said, I haven't read it yet. But so just kind of, and Paula was in, I never did get the cloth, paper, scissors. I think, is this the one you were in, Paula? The recent one? I couldn't find it. And then I think I saw if it was either this one or the month after, and I went, I didn't have time to stop and look to see if it was, but Paula was in one of the recent ones. Hey, Jean. Anybody else? Sherry? Anybody else popping in? Was this the one you were in, Paula? This issue of cloth, paper, scissors? If Paula's still here, she might not be. I got the hiccups now of all things. It's the one with the apron, May, June. Okay, so Paula's in the May, June issue, the one with the apron. Okay, see, I should have tried to really research it and get it. Okay, let me try and get my camera straightened out there. All right, so then here's some Zentangle, doodly kind of faces. So yeah. Little mini books. This one looks like on fabric. I need to tear that out. Send it to Barb. Probably has the book. So yeah, imaginary characters, Karen O'Brien, and then mixed media portraits. Those, I guess, are the two most recent books out. So anyway, guys, lots of step outs, lots of, examples and everything there. And so that's the faces, creating mixed media portraits. It's, I think, $9.99. And, of course, if you get it wherever you get it, you might get a discount from your bookstore if you're members of your bookstores. But anyway, yeah. All right, so there's all the books. And that only took us an hour. We only did an hour there. Okay. So now, did I bump the camera again? I sure did. Good grief, I bumped the... All right, so I won't get into the faces here, but hang on, guys. For some reason, my camera is not centered right where I need it to be. Okay. I've done a flip through of this and shown y'all how to draw faces, in 5 seconds, and then go from that and develop them into different things. But anyway, I won't get into this. Is just some cheap Michaels watercolor paper. All right. So back on task. All right, I talked about the file folders. We put that over here. This, if I don't pick up right behind me, when I jump up to go get something, I trip over stuff. So I like to at least pick up right behind my chair. All right. Any questions or anything on any of that? I missed something that Paula said. He hasn't even started arting yet, and you're already inspired. Okay. Oh, good. Well, I think we all inspire each other. Just something can spark. I mean, the smallest thing. I mean, like looking at the design seeds, color combinations. That can inspire you. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I keep bumping into the tripod. It's really close by my chair. Okay. Oh, I do know one other thing. Hello, Paula. I saw Paula's show. She did a journal flip. I think it was I lose track of when she actually did the show because I watched the recordings. And if I watch 2 shows back to back, I forget which night or day she actually did those shows. So when I say like I watched one this morning, I don't know if it was one from last night or the night before. But she was showing some of her journal flips. and she was showing the one with all scrapbook paper. And we talked about the, and I could not remember a couple weeks ago, Paula mentioned, you know, when we had that big thing where we were seeing who had the biggest kind of not scrapbook, you know, smash book type thing, where we used our old scrapbook paper to make smash books. And Paula showed her little square one. It's about that thick. And I went, oh my gosh, I think I know what she's talking about. It was this one, Paula. Hang on, let me take it off the shelf. I think it's this one, where I took an old, this is where I took an old notebook, and there's going to be a glare right there from the overhead light. I took a 3-inch notebook and cut it down. And I did talk about, if you want to cut down an old plastic notebook, do not take that plastic, do not take that purple off. To get to the car, to get to the chipboard, I'm telling you, that's not as easy as it looks, because it's sewn here, it's attached here in the binder. Do I have this? Here we go. It's not as easy to take that plastic off as you think, especially around the rings, okay? So this, this is where I took 12 by 12 scrapbook papers that I loved, but wasn't going to probably use in a scrapbook, you know, a literal scrapbook, and I cut them in half. So that made them 6 by 12. So you would get 2 sheets off of each one, right? And plus I put in some other ATCs and other things in here. So this is about 3 inches thick, but it's the scrapbook paper just cut in half. My favorite ones. And like Paula, she wanted to save those. She made hers into a square book. So she could probably get 4 off if she did it 6 by, I don't remember the size. If she did hers 6 by 6, she would get 4 squares off of one 12 by 12 sheet. Anyway, but I want to say this again, because I've had people want to cut their notebooks down. Okay, so this is like one of the kind that lays flat like this. It's a D-ring. You see how that works? The thing about this, when you cut your book down, because I did it twice, 2 other times it did not turn out. I've since thrown them away, because when I did my cleanup here a couple month ago, whatever. Make sure that, especially if you use one of these kind that flap over like that, it's bigger than you think. Don't cut this down to 6 by 12, because look, this is 9. This is 9 inches. It's not 6 inches. I cut this down to 6 inches, and then when I closed the flap, it came to right here. Because it's not just this area, it's this area. So when you cut these books down, think about it real hard. Talk about measure twice, cut once. This is when you want to measure twice, cut once. Because like I said, if you cut the cover down to 6, it comes out to right here with the flap over on these D-ring books. Okay? Denise didn't let me keep the wonky cut. No, they did. I was 2 wonky cut binders. I threw away a lot of old binders. And Denise is one to always use binders in her real estate. And even she didn't want some of these binders. I don't even want that, Mom. So, yeah, I did. I tossed a lot of stuff in my cleanup in here. I don't miss any of it. I'm telling you. Now I did keep any little handmade journals and books. I've been sending those out and giving them away. And same thing for the stamps. I gave away all those stamps. Just, people paid me for shipping. So, again, I'll say no real good art supplies were hurt in the D-stash. Okay? I'm telling you. Yeah, I have comp books too. Oh, I missed something, Lucy Jane. I just saw comp books. Okay, so anyway, these are all different kinds of papers that I liked and would do things with on top of. This had a background on it, so I collaged on it. Here are some of my ATCs here. Here you can see this is a, I believe it's a basic gray or a Bo Bunny, I forget. So I would just, you know, you can see where I have used, this is a Daisy D. And so if they were a double page, like, you know, where they went together, if I cut it down the middle, then I would, you know, either paint on the back if it was a white background, if it was not a double-sided, like this Daisy D paper was not double-sided. So on the back side, I painted something and made a little pocket like this. But then I would keep the facing pages together. Can you kind of get what I'm saying? If I cut it down the middle, I kept the facing pages together. So it's like your own smash book. So this is the back side of the Daisy D. So you can see how that I cut it down the middle and I kept them facing each other. This is the back sides, and then there's another Daisy D paper. So it's kind of like that with, you know, all of it. Here's some collage on the back, collage on this page. So some of y'all might recognize some of these papers, but they're papers I love, but I wanted to, you know, smash on them, okay? So you can kind of see this paper, you know. So this was the book that Paul and I, we used up our old papers into a book. And again, I won't go through this whole thing. I've gone through it before. But I just wanted to tell y'all, make sure if you cut down one of these big binders to put your stuff in, yeah. So there's my, all the different, just kind of go through here. You can kind of see some of the papers. I've gone through this book before. I don't know if I did a stream on it. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I don't know if I uploaded it to YouTube. Anyway, and I have different ATCs in there as well. Yes, I actually use my But, you know, again, I'm not really using it now, so it's on the shelf. It's not right here, Paula. I'm not keeping it, like, right in front of me. But I know it's over there, and if I want to do that kind of something again, I know where the book is, you know. Right now, I've got that big 12 by 12 where you saw I had the Mindy Lacefield. That's kind of like my everyday book. I have that, I'm using that. I'll tell you all the journals I'm using right now. I'm using that big 12 by 12. I'm using my big, this is this book right here, the very big sketchbook for just pencil animal ideas, okay? Well, there's a little paint in there too, but it's my animal idea book. That's what this one is. Then I have this one, my little freestyle, that has a combination of drawing, glue book, and, you know, fashion type. It's not all fashion because, you know, there's cats, but it's kind of like a little bit of drawing, pen and ink, and glue book. Okay, so this is kind of my pen and ink and glue book. And I keep these little things over them. Oh, this one goes on the one bigger one. I like these. And you can just use headbands, by the way. This is those Smashbook rubber bands. But headbands, the elastic headbands that you can get, you know, 3 for a couple of dollars at Walmart or whatever, they work great for holding your journals. All right, so there's that. Then I have my current art journal. This is the current one that I'm using. Okay, I have that. And then I have my desk journal, which is, now this is a Mama Jamba one. This is another rubber band book, and it's a Mama Jamba. This is my current desk journal, and it's, what I mean by desk journal, it sits on the desk where you just throw stuff in, and then sometimes I'll go back and, you know, paint in, like I painted in these waterfalls and all this area, and a moon and whatnot. But it'll have just whatever, leftover stencils, bits of collage, whatever. And then I might go back and work on it, but maybe not. But this one is, it's just a rubber band book, and it's 7, almost 8, 7 3/4 by 11 with a, I'd say 2.5-inch spine. And all this is copy paper, cheap copy paper, folded in half and attached with rubber bands. Okay, into signatures. All right, so this is just sits on my desk when I'm art journaling, jelly plating, stenciling, whatever. And if there's leftover paint and stuff, that gets thrown in here. Where's that last one we did? Let's see. Let me see. We did a little scene. I did something in this one on a couple of months ago, maybe. Hang on, let me see if I can flip it on my lap. We did a little scene in one of these, just to show you. It's basically all the same kind of thing. My mixed media collage, it's all the same. Let's see. Same technique, I mean. I have a few pages done in here, but I'm looking for that one specific one that we finished on a stream. Okay, it's toward the back, I think. Well, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it for some reason. Okay, well, I wanted to show you the one we did on stream, but there's other ones, like here's one I did. But I'm looking for that one with the little hill and the people walking up the hill. I'm pretty sure it's in this book. So anyway, so I'm just showing you the different ones that I have, that I work in all the time. And then if I'm not working in it regularly, it goes on my art journal shelf, which is just right to the edge of me here, so I can glance over if there's something I think I need in there on the shelf. I'll just pull it off the shelf. But well, for goodness sake, I just knew it was in this book, but it's pretty thick and I'm not flipping right to it. So okay, so anyway, that's the desk journal. And then I keep now this one, I don't really do a faux Bonici or a Midori, okay? But I do have one of these faux Bonicis that this is for my birthdays and things like that. And, you know, I don't really do any kind of, today on August, 24th, I did this or that. I tried to even write down the days I streamed, and I wasn't even keeping up with that. But this is my birthday book. Okay, so I have that for birthdays. And then I have my Adorable. This is, if I go anywhere, this is what I carry with me. To sketch, write notes, my book list, quotes, things I need, kind of like a art supply shopping list or anything like that. That goes in my my Adorable, okay? My Adorable is so thick the cover doesn't even go to the edge. But this is the one that Sister Woman Jonna makes, and she sells these. And they feel really nice. They got sizing in the inside, so they're nice and, they're soft, yet they're, they're durable like. So this one is my, if I go out somewhere, there's a pin stuck in there. I got notes in here. I'm writing notes. So if I'm take this, or just sitting somewhere, even in another room, and I want to write down, like my I have all my information in here for the file folder fodder project, and notes and sketches and all that. I have in here some Peerless watercolor squares, so I have an extra water brush there, so if I need to add a little bit of color. But this one is my like, if you want to call it, planner, but there's not even a calendar in here. I don't even have a calendar in any of, a planner with no calendar, if you will. All right. So that sits right next to me, ready to go if I just want to pick it up and take it with me. Okay? So those are all the ones I'm using. Let's see if there's any other ones. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. There are some other ones. I also have my idea notebook. Okay. Let me just, now, these stay under the desk because I don't use them every day, but they are under my table. This is my idea notebook. This is the one with all the dividers, and I'm really close up here. This is the one with all the dividers, with the different topics. So if I have ideas on something, I want to break it down, mind map it, think about it, plan it, work it, whatever. That's in this one. But lately, I've been so busy with just projects that I'm doing that I haven't had time to plan new ones, other than the file folder fodder project. But, you know, this is where I work out more, and I have them all numbered, and then I have a table of contents of what each one means. But, and I didn't get a lot of interest when I showed this and how to, like, generate ideas and how to mind map ideas and, you know, collect your ideas and use your ideas. I didn't get a lot of interest in this. So, yeah, I didn't, you know, I kind of like dropped off streaming about this one. Okay, then I have another one. This is my, and I won't get into this because it's my personal one. This is my personal spiritual diary. This is my spiritual notes, diary, and reading. And I say diary loosely. I don't diary. I don't sit like every day and diary. When I say diary, if I just mean if I want to write down some thoughts or ideas, or if I'm reading something, this is where it goes. Okay, so this is my spiritual journal. Then I also keep, I showed you this last week, my Jonathan Adler just collection book. This is just, oops, sorry guys again. This is not to write in really or anything. It's to keep my pretty papers and pages. Okay, this is just to keep a lot of my flow of pictures and things like that. So it's just basically a plastic sleeve book where I keep pretty pages. Okay, then I have under here, and again, this is one that I really don't do much in because I don't do a lot of the pocket pages. But here's my pocket page notebook. So this is where I keep pages, pocket pages that I've received for from other people. So I have a notebook for pocket pages. Then I have a whole book of, I'm going to call it scraps, okay? This is literally almost trash pages that I keep in another notebook. This is all just really, I can't even really get into that, but it's almost like a precursor. It's kind of like a precursor to my idea collecting notebook. Okay, it's got that kind of thing in it, but it's not organized. It's just cast-offs, if you will. This is cast-offs. Thanks for all the enabling. Bye, Jeannie. Okay, so those are the books that I keep either under this desk or right to the right on my shelf, along with my portfolios and bigger posters and stuff. Those are under here as well in, what do you call it, portfolios. All right, so now I think we've done enough yakking, so we should probably do some arting. But I hope, guys, that just talking about all these different things gives you ideas and inspiration, you know, for your own projects. Because you can take one little thing that, you know, I suggested and turn it into, you know, more into what you're doing, your medium, your watercoloring, mixed media, art, whatever you're doing, painting, drawing, sketching, doodling, molies, whatever kind of, you know, things you're working on, write down some ideas and incorporate them into yours. I wonder if Denise ever saw the Almost Trash book. No, it was in a binder, Jean, so she missed that one because it was neatly in a binder. If it was in those loose, accordion files, those all got trashed. The loose accordion files all got trashed. How many folders do I have? The folders for the project coming up, Dottie? 12. But you only need one at a time. You only need one a week. Okay, did you tell him that I'm up here if he needs me to come knock on the door? Okay, thanks. The guy's down there replacing a piece of drywall in our laundry room, and Hubster has to leave, so I told him, just tell the guy I'm streaming. If he needs me, just come up here and knock on the door. Yeah, so 12 folders is all you need for the file folder fodder project. Starts the second week in September, and you only need one a week. So all you have to have is one a week. Okay? Hey, 3G. One folded up folder. It will be full. But here's the thing about the file folder fodder project. It can be ongoing. Just because we move on to a new topic in week 2, week 3, you can continuously add to week 1, week 2. You can continuously add to all your file folders. Okay? Yes, I'm going to give them out each week. And Packer Dye she's going to be decorating her set of folders in her style. Everybody decorates, does the decorating however they want. I'll give you a theme. You can decorate your file folders, the outside, the flaps, the inside, however you want. Packer Dye is going to decorate the themes in her style. And, she might do a video or two. She might video all of them. She might photograph them. She's totally free to do however she wants. Just so we can see what she's done. And I'm going to concentrate on the fodder part. She's going to concentrate on the decorating part. I'm going to concentrate on the fodder part. Will I be putting it on Facebook? Probably not, but I will upload the videos to YouTube. So if you can't be here at Ustream when I'm doing them, I'll try to make sure I might do a little separate video. Well, I'll at least include it in the title because it's not going to take long. It might, might spend 10, 15 minutes at the, most showing you what's in that week's folder. And then, because I'm not doing the decorating. So, I might decorate my folders, but I'm saying Packer Dye is going to be doing the more extensive decorating based on the theme. And I'll tell you the theme every week. So Packer Dye and I do not be emailing Packer Dye asking her what the next topic is. I will show again on week 1 the folders, the folding, and the first topic. Okay? So you will only get one topic a week. That's the dealio. You girls, I tell you, don't be harassing the guest artist. Oh my gosh, you girls. All right. Okay, so the art scroll. Okay, so I think maybe I'll just work in the smaller art scroll to work on some animal ideas. Although I do still have, let me again kind of roll you through. Oh, got another question. I would like to know how you made some of the glue books or trash books. Well, some of them are just 3-ring binders, Colleen. Okay, if they're just 3-ring binders. If you mean the individual pages, like, all right, let me see, this one. I've got either books like this, I got, or there are 3-ring binders. These are just drawings and doodles and sketches, and then I just add other things to it. I don't work in this one very often. because I don't really, you know, if I have more ideas, I'll work in the idea book. And of course, I write everything down, at least write it down on a Post-it note to include in one of the other books, depending on the theme. Glinda. Hey, Glinda. Week 1 is going to be in the second week of September. I don't know the exact day. It's hard for me to tell you. I mean, I like to stream on Mondays, so preferably the second, week, the first Monday of the second week. But I can't promise that. Things happen. Denise might need me that day or whatever. But I want it to be the second week of September. Creativity Journal. Okay, I don't know which one that is, McCarroll. The Creativity Journal. They're all creative journals to me. You have to be a little more specific. And because there's a lag here too, by the time I've shown a third journal, y'all are asking the first question. So, there is a lag. Yes, you can fold your folders on Labor Day, Eileen. That's good, Eileen. Yeah, do your file folders on Labor Day. But you only need one a week, guys, So all you have to have folded for week 1 is one folder. That's all that's required. The glue book where you finished it out by drawing. This one. These ones. That's kind of a combination. It's kind of glue book, doodles, drawings. And I just kind of throw things in here. Let me put it this way. This is my pen and ink doodle book. Hey, Shabs. This is my pen and ink. No pencil in this. Okay. So if I just feel like drawing, let's just say I want to draw a feather here. Okay, so this would be where I'd play with my pen and ink. Because sometimes I just feel like playing with just ink and not erasing anything, not overthinking anything. I just want to ink. So I might do this. Like that. So this is just my pen and ink book. And then I might find like a pretty little flower and put it right here, glue in a flower, and then I might end up making that into a hat of somebody. And then I might end up finding a cool face in a fashion magazine and gluing it right over that. So that's the kind of thing that goes in this book. Just kind of, inky kind of stuff. Yes, everybody needs a play journal for sure. All right, so now I'm going to go on to the play art scrolls. Okay, so I have not yet finished. I've not finished my giant sea turtles here. I only did the one. See how big that is? It's as big as my hand. This is the big scroll. This is the one that's 30 inches wide, and I think it's 30 feet long. And it was a little too big to use on camera, so I cut one down, and I talked about that on a couple weeks ago. I cut one down, so now this one is 15 inches long and 30 feet long. But I can go this way with it, and it fits on the desk under the camera. But this one is the huge one, and I still have not, I sketched out all these sea turtles, but I haven't done anything else with them. And then there's the seahorse, okay? But what I thought I would do today, and there's some brainstorming ideas. Remember, this is the kind of stuff that you need a idea notebook for, whether it's a sketchbook, a yellow legal pad, whatever. You need books where you can do this kind of thinking out. Hey, Galena. You need a book, whether it's a 3 ring, a composition book, which costs you like 50 cents. You know, I got tons of those too. I keep comp books handy just to, throw in post-it notes. But where you mind map out, list things, connect things, think up things. Like here on this day, we just did a little chart with words that are from land, sea, and air. Now, everybody can do this. And you can, and don't tell me you do not have an imagination. I do not want to hear that. Do not email me that you do not have an imagination. Make your own little charts. Get out the dictionary, open it up, and then pick 3 words. Pick 3 nouns, find 3 adjectives, find 3 verbs. Put those, a list of adjectives, a list of nouns, and a list of verbs. And then just interconnect things, and then just go for it. Just start, drawing out things. If you like to draw animals, use animals. If you like to draw people, use people. If you like to do, sorry guys, I just bumped the camera again. If you like to do architecture, buildings, or manga, character, whatever you do, then take your style, the things you like to do, the things you like to work on, whatever it is, whether it be people, animals, whatever, and then start connecting dots, and you will have things to do. For instance, we did land, sea, and air. Then on land, we wrote tree, a zebra, a peacock, and an ocelot. And the reason I just picked those because I have them drawn in the scroll. Then from sea, a sea turtle, a starfish, a clownfish, kelp, a shell. All right, then here on air, we had a pterodactyl, an eagle, a cloud, a planet, and a sun. And then just randomly connected a tree, a starfish, and a sun. So we made a tree with starfish branches with the sun. And that came up in literally 3 seconds. Because you don't overthink it. Have playtime. Have time where you just use your imagination and you don't care. You don't worry about it. You just go for it. You don't have to show this to anybody, although I do. Sometimes I do things that turn out, sometimes I don't. Sometimes they're dumb. But, I just want to kind of show you the process. You don't have to have, everything doesn't have to be a finished sketchbook ready for YouTube. Okay. Take a sip of coffee like Paula. Okay, so let me just roll through the scroll here real quick. And so you can see some of the animals. This is on the big scroll. Again, I'm really close up. I think I'm going to back the camera out a bit. Hang on. Let me just back up the camera and see if I can kind of, hang on guys, if you get dizzy, just look away for a minute. Okay, well, I want to try to get it straightened out, leveled out, because I have the cord connected on the wall over there. Okay. All right, so if y'all have any questions, put them in caps. So again, all this is a big roll of shipping paper. 3M or whatever brand shipping paper. It's not going to be acid free. It's not going to last forever. It's just to sketch on. Okay, yes, breathe. Okay, so here, for instance, this little turtle, this particular turtle reminded us of Grant. When I say us or we, if you're here working and playing along with me while I'm talking, that's why I say us, we, because you're here. But we all thought this looked like Grinch. So I wrote over here, a sea turtle face with a Grinch. We need a Santa hat. So we kind of started, you can kind of see a little bit of a Santa hat on them. So that would be a cool animal to play with. We can make him a Christmas turtle. You know what I mean, Vern? So anyway, but I'll write down those ideas. My pep talks, Lucy Jane. I try. Hi, Mickey L. and anybody else I missed. Thanks everybody for being here. We got a full house today. Thanks everybody for being here. Barry, who else I might have missed? I know I said hi to most of y'all. CJ before I hit record, but if I might have missed, is that Jean? No. Sister woman. Let's see who else might have missed. Engel Design and Galena. Hootie, who else? Judy Rice. Hey guys, Kathy, Carrie Ann. I think I said hi to most of you. I'm just kind of going down the list here. Molly, two Mollys. Molly Stamper, Molly Tucker. Thanks guys for being here. Moomy, Erica, my fairy treasures, and Patty and Phyllis. And I'm just skipping over everybody that's I've already said hi to. Tracy, Z. So thanks. We got over 75 people here this morning. Thanks, guys. That's so nice. Okay, back to the pep talk. Back to the. Hang on. Y'all know what I'm gonna do, don't you? Wait for it. Wait for it. We got to get crack-a-lackin'. All right. So anyway, so write down your ideas on your sketch scroll, and you're coloring. Oh, good, Kathy. I know. Don't you love that book? If y'all missed the beginning of the show today, make sure you go back and look at all the new color books I bought. Okay. All right. So let's just keep rolling through here. Again, we drew a whole bunch of sea turtles that day, but we only, this took me probably about an hour to color him in. Okay. Then we did some clownfish. We never did finish the starfish here because I did the starfish in the smaller scroll. Okay, but here's some clownfish. And some shells. And some, how color pencil goes over paints and stuff. So there's some shells. Here's the peacock studies. And again, it's barely fitting under the camera here. That's why I kind of went to the smaller scroll for streaming. So there's the peacocks. And I was running out of time, getting a little frustrated by the end of that show. But I said I was not going to be defeated. So we drew a peacock foot because we couldn't be defeated. And then did this little ocelot for Julie's, I know her last name's not Topaz's granddaughter. I did not do this one on stream. I just did this on a weekend. No, they're all Prismacolor pencils. Wax-based color pencils. No charcoal. I don't work well with charcoal and things that I have to set or, fixative or anything like that. So all these here, these animals are acrylic paint, just cheap, Americana craft paint and color pencil. Okay. So if y'all have seen any of my, portrait type color pencil shows, those are all done with color pencil. Now the hair, the clothes might have some paint in it, but the faces are all just done with color pencil. Whereas these, I will base coat with an acrylic. Okay, so let's keep scrolling here. So there's a deer. This one was really focusing on the antlers, the velvety look of the antlers. There's a little raccoon. We talked about how to do some clouds and waves. This octopus, it reminded me of a musical instrument, so I made a note that would be a cool thing to have a, because I do my fantasy animal posters. It would be cool to have a octopus that had his tentacles were musical instruments and could play music. So maybe he's, playing some music. So, I don't want to draw a dollar sign. I'm not trying to draw what is that, Gene? What's that called? Anyway. So and you can see how big this is. Yeah. Now, mine's not named Pedro. Linda's is named Pedro. Linda there's a little baby owl. What else is on here? A little panda. Hopefully y'all can see because I did move the camera back. Okay. And then here we started doing the scroll this way with these Slow Lori sketches, but it wouldn't fit on my table. So that's when I started turning it this way, and it's still kind of big for the streaming. So then we went on to the small scroll here, and all this is, it's just the shipping paper. This is a roll cut in half, and then I used old wrapping paper tubes, you know, like Christmas paper tubes, cut some of those down and glued it at the end and at the other end. I unrolled all 30 feet as I was cutting it, because I cut it in half by myself. That was a little tricky. If you're going to cut one of these in half, unless you're going to use a table saw and just go zoop, and cut the whole thing in half. If you're actually going to slice it down with a pair of scissors, it's best to have someone help you unroll it while you're doing it. I was sitting on the floor using my feet and holding it with my legs and trying to cut. Anyway, all right, so here's where we did the starfish. Carrie, what did Carrie say? I missed something Carrie said. So anyway, yeah, little studies, some color studies, and just some little, you know, whatevers. There's some butterfly I want to do, and some, like, you know, different little. This is not done yet. We still got to, we have to work with this one. There's a little owl, and we did this eagle on string. There's another peacock feather here, some clouds. There's a kind of a, Dana named this a, it would be cute to be a Dalai Lama, but it's a Dalai, D-A, you know, like Salvador Dali with his mustache, a Dalai Emu. So it's not a Dalai Lama, it's a Dalai Emu. What does Sister Woman say? Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know. I'll check it. If Sister Woman, if you're watching from the bleachers, I'll check it here a little bit. And then I was going to do a leaf line, and I didn't think about that I was going to put it in clouds, so it's not really like turned or blowing in the wind. So I did a little bit of clouds. What else is on here? Oh yeah, the hummingbirds. I forgot about the hummingbirds. There's the hummingbirds. This is all on another show, another stream. So what I'm thinking, guys, is, wait. Then there's a little, I took this little dough. Let me find the picture. I took that dough, and this is on Facebook and Twitter, and I added a big flower to her. Let's see, where's the picture? I photographed her with the flower. Where's my pictures? Hang on. Yeah. So I drew out some other little sketches too, but look, I put some flowers on her to make it look like she had on a little hat and a little dress or something. And then these are just some little quick little sketches of some little deer. And then the pug. Did the pug too. Now I've drawn quite a few pugs. And where's Paula? Yeah. So this is a picture of my sister-in-law's Chug the pug. I like the little fat on his neck that's kind of folding over the collar. You know, this part right there, I like the little fur, the little fatty fur that's folded over the collar. That's one of my favorite parts on him. Okay, so yeah, and Lucy Jane commissioned me to do her pug. And by the way, guys, I do commission portraits, people, and pets, and you can see my work on Instagram and on Twitter, InkyWell, INKIWELL, and Facebook, Dee Dee Willingham. So I believe I have my, even if you don't follow me on Facebook, I do have a couple of my art folders available for anyone to look at. So you don't have to necessarily follow me to, you know, see my artwork. Same thing for Instagram and Twitter. Okay, so my idea today was to use, you know, some of the funny animals. Now, whether it's these or just another animal, okay? Oh, that's all right, Vicky. You can hear them, right? You can hear yourself tweeting me, Vicky, on the iPad. Yeah. So these are just some different. Here's where we did a play with some birds of paradise. This is an old cat. Just, but to make some kind of little funny, like here's a little mouse playing the piano. And I just kind of did another little sketch of them trying to decide, some colors or whatever. There's a sea lion, and I think it was Carrie that said "seal in space." But anyway, I don't really want to do a poster today because a poster will take it'll be a double header stream, and I don't, I got that wall guy downstairs. I probably should go check on him. Hubster left. I told Hubster, if the guy that's working on replacing that drywall, if he needs anything, just tell him to come knock on my door. He's just roaming around downstairs. Hopefully, if he needs anything, he'll come. I'll go check on him in a little bit. But anyway, I don't want to do a full-blown poster today because that's going to take a while. But I thought that, maybe just play around in the small scroll with some animal ideas and making them funny. Now these two aren't funny, but, like here, now I'm not going to do a peacock because we just did a peacock, last week or whatever. But like, have a peacock with quills for the feathers instead of the feathers in there on the head, to have that be like quills, and holding a thing of ink. And Moomy said acupuncture. I wrote that down. Or a bucket of paint or something like that. Here's, we did a crab. Here we did another one like with little shoes. A little crab with shoes holding a handbag. And then we just did some color studies. Dee Dee's house could be empty. She goes, nah, not here, Jean. Not here. And then here's an alligator, and I thought that would be kind of fun to do, like make her, like she could have lipstick on. Oh, where's Vicky? Maybe we need to do this alligator today. Let's do the alligator. Maybe make some Stegosaurus type, I don't know what, not fins, but, the back spine things. Instead of just a little bit on, like on an alligator, we can make these big Stegosaurus type things, and holding an alligator bag, wearing lipstick, fingernail polish. Do the gator. Fingernail polish, some pearls, something like this. All right, we'll do that. All right, so I'm going to just kind of set this. Where's my band here? Let me just kind of hold it open with the band. Okay, and I'll set this up in front of me here. Kind of get the idea in front of me. Okay, got a gun. Oh, well, I'm going to have to move it to get to the paint. I'm propping it up on my paint thing, but I'll move it in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is just roll down here on the scroll. We'll have a big room for now. Now, I might do a couple different things. Let me sharpen a new white pencil. I might do like the alligator head, and then maybe a body, and do a few studies of how. Now, again, this is going to be, let me prop up my pages here. Let me put my mouse right there. Question. What is the glue book name on Facebook? I won't have books. I have individual pages, Dottie. They won't be, I'll have a, yeah, I won't have like a glue book showing on Facebook. I'll show individual pages. But if you go to my YouTube, if y'all are just joining me here for the first time, I upload all these Ustream videos to YouTube. So if I say journal flip or, animal poster, I should have a decent thumbnail in my video library there on YouTube for you to see. Okay, put a ring on it. All right, so let me sharpen up a white pencil. And again, I'm going to go down and check on the guy here in a minute. and get some fresh coffee because I've been here. How long have I been here? An hour and 45 minutes. She was asking. Oh, okay, Vicki. Thank you. All right, so let me see if I can find an alligator picture real quick. I want to find some reference for some alligators, some alligator feet. Let's see. Gators. We're going to look up some gators, Miss Vicki. I always tease Vicki. Her motif to me is alligator, so okay. All right, so I do kind of like this one that we kind of drew here. She's kind of, as far as just, let me kind of make sure I'm in camera here. You know, just to kind of block it out so we can kind of get her little face in here. So I just think it'd be fun to make some kind of fun little characters, animal characters, other than doing the big posters, which, you know, I don't have a lot of time to do that, at least not today. So I hope everybody's having a, you know, fun inspiration. Get out a sketchbook, at least write down some ideas. You know, you can always write down ideas. Oh, I think I hear him coming upstairs. I might need to go. I should go check. Okay, let me go check. Let me get some coffee and I'll be right back. If you're watching the recording, just fast forward. I'll be right back, guys. Wow, I've never seen so much drywall cutting in all my life. He's working in the laundry room. So the laundry room is right here. And then right out here's the garage. I mean, it looks like a whole, like they're renovating. Anyway, so, all right, I'm back. The alligator smoking one of those long, like those cigarette holders, Carrie. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't even know if I have room for her to do that. Uh-oh, hang on. I knocked off my AOL thingy there. Okay. All right. Yeah, one of those, but no, you know what? She needs to be holding it. I have to look up a picture of the hand. She probably needs to be holding it in her hand. You know, her little claw, and she's going to have her fingernails. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I need to look at I don't even know what an alligator hand looks like. I got to look that up. But she could be holding one of those cigarette holders with, you know, like this, and a cigarette. Lit, you know. Oops, see, it's already gone off. It's already gone bigger. So, yeah, she could be holding one of those. Hi, girl. Yeah, with her lipstick and her eyeshadow. Okay. All right, but for now, let's just scroll this back this way and try to tilt the camera up a little bit this way. Okay, so thanks God for being patient. Like I said, if you're watching a recording, just fast forward. The girls here on the live show know that it's, you know, we run around, get coffee, take little breaks, because this show's long. So, yeah. All right, so we have her little eye here. And she has kind of that, you know, that lizard type eye. I'm going to have to look up again how one looks. Something like this. And we wanted her to have pearls. Let's see how her neck would come down like that. She needs, okay, bye Z. She needs to have, like, you know, she needs to have like her friends over for tea. Oh my goodness. Okay, but I don't know, let's see, the alligators on their back just have those little bumps, but I wanted her to be a little bit more flamboyant and have her have like, you know, stegosaurus type, you know, kind of, they're not scales. What are those called? What are those things called on the back of a, you know, a dinosaur? Not scales. I know there's a name for them. But we're going to make hers, she can have some like turquoise ones. She's going to be flashy. She'll be like bright green with some turquoise, flashy. Yes, big eyelashes. Thank you, Carrie. We need big eyelashes. Yeah, you girls are. See, isn't this more fun when y'all participate? Where's my Sharpie? And I want her holding in her mouth, but I see now if I put an alligator bag here in her mouth, I don't want it to interfere. It's going to interfere with her cigarette. Avon, Gator calling. Oh my gosh, Abs. I don't know if they're called spikes. Yeah. Gator, Avon, yeah. Yeah, let's answer that Avon lady. Okay, Avon, Gator. Gator calling. Good one, Shabs. Avon Gator calling. They're called Skyutes. Oh, of course, Rain would go look it up like in the Latin. Scoots. Oh my gosh. They're called spines. Well, according to Rain, they're called scoots. Okay, so anyway, she's going to have some pretty teeth. Maybe we should have her have dentures. Dentures with spiky dentures. Bless her heart. Okay, so let's just I'm just sketching it out right now, guys. I don't know where we're really going with it yet. We're just getting the ideas out. And then let's see, her mouth kind of goes that way on the inside. They are spines. They are spines. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. Spines. Okay. Okay, so let's see now about. Let me kind of do a couple reference checks here. Let me do a little bit of reference check. All right, that's a good one. We'll kind of keep. We'll keep that one. What other one? Let me find a couple different ones. What's the back of them look like? Besides just bumpy. That's a good one for reference. What else? I'm going to need a full body one too. Here's a full body. No, that looks like a prehistoric something. That one looks like a full body because I can see. Okay, so the claw. I mean, of course, you're not going to be able to see her whole hand here. Her hand, because it's going to be like it wouldn't come off of her neck. You know, it's down here is where the arm would be attached. So we're just going to have to kind of just put it here in front. But it's like, let me zoom in on that. Hang on, let me go to my photos. The claw, it looks like 1, 2, 3. She's got 5 claws. All right, so I want it to be like one is behind the cigarette there. And this one comes over. She's going to have fingernail polish, remember. Don't forget so that's what I'm trying to figure out where I want it to go. I wanted it hanging out of her mouth, but it's also going to interfere with the cigarette here. See, if I have the handbag kind of like right in here, it's going to be like behind the cigarette. It's going to kind of like be confusing as to what's going on. I need to erase that claw. It doesn't erase really well, but I just want to get the 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that. And you don't really see the rest of her hand. It's going to be off the page. But this is like if it's like looking straight at you. I don't know that we need to see all that. Maybe let's do it this way. Let me get a better eraser. Where's my Ticonderoga? Here we go. Ticonderoga, the black erasers are the best thing to erase Prismacolor. And I don't need it completely. I've got, 10 claws there. All right. Hanging out of her mouth behind this. Yeah, that's what I have it behind the cigarette holder, but it's going to look like you're not going to be able to tell what's going on there. Maybe she'll. Okay, let's see. Let's see how I can do this. Another one over there. See, I'm trying to make her hand come this way. She's supposed to have 5 claws. Maybe that last one's kind of behind there. You don't really see it back there. And then there's this one, that one. Okay. We'll just make it kind of lumpy bumpy there, so I'm not sure. kind of having to, you know, decide, because I want her hand coming this way, not like right forward at you. I want it to kind of be going this way. Hello, Scrapbook. Whimsy, Natasha, Lynn, anybody else I missed? All right, but she's going to have fingernails. See, I want her to have fingernails and fingernail polish. And they're going to be, I'm going to make them even pointier there. Something like that. I'm just not sure. This is not anatomically correct where that space is right there. Just not sure how I want those to be. Oh well, we're going to leave it like that for now. Let me sharpen my pencil. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so then her mouth is in there like that. And then she's got, you know, kind of jawline there. Let me kind of move it up a little. Alright. So let's see on the eyeball. And the one I'm looking at here has brown eyes. I think I'm going to have her have a nice bright green reptile eye though, instead of brown, just because that's the way we're going to roll. Oh, okay. Scrapbook Corner, you're the Natasha with Janet. Did you get your art card I sent you? Let me write that down. Scrapbook Corner is Natasha. I'm going to call you Nana's Natasha. And hi, Nana, if you watch this recording. Nana's been, I mean, she's been busy. It's not anatomically correct. You're putting pearls on a gator. Does it really matter? It does to me. Vicky. But Vicky says, does it matter if her claws are anatomically correct? We're putting pearls on an alligator. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me kind of look here again. She does kind of have some jowls, you know, like there's a she has a kind of a jowl, you know, kind of like a, not a double chin, but sorta. Let's see what else. And then there's lots of little, you know, scales, but we gotta paint her in first before we put scales. All right, so let's just start blocking in. The top of the purse showing at the bottom of the page. Now that would probably work. Yeah, see, I should have moved her up like that, but yeah, she could have her, the strap of her purse in the mouth, and we could just have the clasp and part of the bag showing off the top of the page. Yeah, that's a good idea. Who said that? Yeah, Kathy. That's good. K-Bird Kathy. All right, so like this can come down here and like just have the top of the purse, you know, right down here. Let me move the round one here off. And then like, you know, have a clasp or something right here. And then have this be an alligator skin purse, you know, just off the page. If we ever did a poster, we'd be more careful about that, okay? All right, so, oops, I don't want it going across the cigarette holder. Okay, so something like that. Yeah, if we did a, like I said, if we did a poster with her, we'll do it a little bit more, we'll do her more accurate. We'll make sure her pearls are accurate. We'll make sure. Okay, so anyway, let's see how I want that to, kind of like that. We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and block. Let me move my big old Mama Jumbo book here with our sketch off to the side for a minute while we paint her in. Let me see, I gotta move this book. Just got too many books up here. There we go. Got my water right there. See, I was thinking I was going to draw a full body up here. That's why I left this space. So, like, let's see, let's take a minute and do that. Let's see. So if it's kind of like coming sort of at you, let's see if I can kind of get this fit in up here. Maybe this is one of her friends coming over for tea. I just want to get the shape sketched in here so I can kind of fit it in. It's kind of going off this page, you know, it's kind of coming around this way. Neck. All right. Okay, but anyway, I want to kind of sketch out the whole, you know, the whole body. Gotta sharpen again. Somehow up in there, depending on how much time we have. Something like that up there. Okay. There we go. Okay. I think I hear somebody coming up the stairs. Might be Al. That's his name, Al. Al is working on the drywall. Okay. All right, and then there's a foot there, there's a foot there, and there's a foot over there. So that would be kind of like the full body effect. Oh, questions. A bright blue beehive. Well, I'm going to do these turquoise. Yes, it's an awesome Avon lady. I want to ask you, it's just a white Prismacolor. White Prismacolor, yeah. Just plain old white you won't be able to see it's written in gold, but it's a Prismacolor, yeah. Her spikes are plates. Yeah, plates. That's what I was, spines, plates. That's the word I was trying to think of, though, is the plates. That would be fun. Do some, you know what, on these plates, what would be fun is to do the Corningware cornflower design. You know, the little, I'd have to look it up, but you know the 3 little blue cornflowers? Because they can be her plates. I'm just cracking myself up. Okay, yeah. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and get out some paint. All right, so let's go ahead and start because I know we want her plates. Well, now, see, I think they need to be white with blue, right? They need to be, if I do the plate thing, I don't know if I want to do the plate thing, but if we do the idea of the plates, then they would need to be the white with the cornflower blue. Okay? So I think we're just not going to do the plates, literal plates. We'll just do them turquoise. Okay? So let's go ahead. Let's see, what color turquoise do I want? I think I want to, no, let's start with the brighter turquoise here. We're just going to start with some Bahama blue, okay, for the plates. I'm just going to base coat right now, okay? We're going to base coat. All right, and then she will be, do I want to start out with, yeah, let's go ahead and start out with an olive green. Because I do want her to be alligator notice, you know that she's an alligator. I'm going to need more green than that. And then we'll highlight it with lime. And, of course, she's going to have red lipstick on. So, do I want... Yeah, I'll just go with that. Let's just go with that. Okay. And then she's going to I'm going to have her have a bright green eyes. But, you know, again, let me get some white. I always tell you that if you're going to go over something like, for instance, eyes, if you want a bright color, you need to like base coat it with white and then go over it. If you're using brown paper and you're using a translucent color, she needs a hat with a mini pearl tag. Yes, that's a good one, Vicky L. Okay, Vicky L. Mini pearl hat. I don't know that we're going to have room, but we'll see what we can do. A mini pearl hat. But again, this is our studies and our sketches if we do a poster, right? Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start base coating. I hear old Al down there. He's vacuuming something. Good grief. I guess if you're cutting drywall, if you cut drywall up, it makes a mess. I'm just going to leave him to it. I'll go check on him in a little bit. What time is it? Okay. I have about 30 minutes. This might go into a part 2. What day is today? Monday? Is Jean streaming today? Tonight? This afternoon? Jean, you still here? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just base coat the eye white. The only reason that I do that is just so that the brown paper doesn't interfere with the color. Oh, thanks, Angel Orla. Wall worker is vacuuming your house. Can he unload the dishwasher? He might. Well, you know, they're cutting drywall. You should see my garage. That's where he's working. It's like to replace one big, it's a section behind, by the washer and dryer. But, whatever. I'm not paying him by the hour. So, okay. So let's see. All right. So let's go ahead and let's just get her olive greened in. Again, we're going to have some brighter colors on her. But, boy, I can sure hear him banging and stuff down there. Oh, we'll see. All right. I think I need to make sure I have room for her lipstick there. So, I'm just base coating, then we can put all the spines and the scales and all that, Well, he's got the big fans down there and the doors open. And my house is probably going to have a ton of flies after this, with leaving the doors open. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm having fun with you guys right now. All right. I don't know how far our lipstick will go to right there, I think. So if any of y'all like Natasha, I don't know that she's been here before, or anybody else that, if you're new and you want to let people get to know you, feel free to, links are open. Post your link to your blog or your website or your YouTube or your Facebook or your, some way so that we all can get to know you. Okay, I want to make sure that the handbag thing there, I don't want to forget to put that in. A steampunk hat. Yeah, I don't know if steampunkers wear pearls, do they? I don't know. Maybe. I guess they could. They're more into metal and chains and mechanicals. But I guess maybe they wear some pearls. It's been a while since I looked at. Although I did watch that first episode of that steampunk show. It's kind of like a Project Runway or a face-off kind of contest thing. I don't know if y'all watched the first episode. It's on GC. I forget what even the name of the channel is. Anyway, and they have their teams, 2 teams, and of course somebody gets kicked off every week, and they have to do a steampunk room in the house, a steampunk room. Turn the pearls into gears. Okay, I could do that, guys, but, we just did a steampunk thing not too long ago. I don't know. What do y'all think? Now the lipstick's not going to work. And the Avon lady, a steampunk alligator Avon lady. Hello, don't open the door. A beret. Yeah, well, you wear berets, Lucy Jane. Yeah. So anyway, Vicky, they had episode one thing comes on. I can't remember what night 'cause I DVR'd it, so I couldn't tell you. I can't remember. It came on kind of late for me, so I just record it, watch it the next day. But anyway, what I was going to say is there's like 10 on each team. Starts out with maybe 8, 10 on each team. And last week they had to each got a box, a kitchen. They each had to steampunk up a kitchen. And then, of course, the best ones, get immunity. And then the one that did the worst project gets kicked off. And it's like that. And every week they do a different room in the house. Yes. Can I have a copy of the post? What post? I missed something, Shab. Sorry. I think we're enjoying coming up with ideas for you. Oh, okay. Yeah. But I can't incorporate all of them. That's a thing. I know. Those are good ideas, but I can't put them all on her. Bless her little heart. She has one. Okay. Oh, let me get some more green. I got to do her claw here. And her lipstick and her fingernail polish. Avon Lady Gator, yes. All right, so her little claws are coming up like this. All right, so here's the thing. I don't think I'm going to finish this, so if y'all want, unless somebody else is streaming, let me know. If someone else is streaming, then we'll just, end it here shortly. But if I can go into a part 2, since I really can't do anything else down there with Al working. So if y'all want, I can do another part, unless someone else has already said they're streaming. Let me know. Oh, I like all the ideas. I like the steampunk one too. Remember we just did a steampunk chickadee and a steampunk frog a while back? But I'm not seeing the steampunk with the, we've got a gator bag. And I'll do the gator bag. Maybe, let's do it a little bit lighter shade of green, but not lime. Or maybe, let's just make it a little darker. I'm going to add just, he's vacuuming. What is he vacuuming? Okay. And then we'll put little, what do you call it on here? Scales and stuff on this one too. I hope this wasn't one of her friends. Maybe I should make it a little squarer, because otherwise it's going to look like, I don't know. I don't want it to, I want it to look like a bag, handbag. Or a suitcase. It could be a luggage. Could be luggage. Do the gator bag. Yeah, that would be good, Vicky. Vicky L said do the gator bag in a cow print. Now, I don't know that we'll do that today, but I am going to note that. Gator bag in cow print. That would be good on the poster. In cow print. Oh my gosh, that's good. I love that. Yeah. Rest in peace, Gator friend, who is now a purse. Yeah, it does, Gene. It does. I'm glad he's cleaning up after himself, I guess. You should see the garage. I mean, all right, so I'm going to put a little shadow just along those fingernails there. Kind of make sure I don't lose the fingernails. I'm going to, I'm going to shade in here with color pencil and all that. Oh, did I miss anybody else streaming? I know Gene streams at 4. Okay, and then she's going to have a little bit of a double chin there, I think. We'll have a little bit of kind of like that. And of course, there's going to be, all kinds of shadows and shading around the nostril and around the neck here, and, just under the pearls. And I'm going to put in little what do you call it, scales and stuff. You know, underneath her neck here would be. This is just blocking in. We're just blocking in. No one else is doing that, you know. Okay. Okay, thanks, Carrie. All right, let's go ahead. Let me get a smaller brush here for some lipstick. I don't really need a liner brush, but can y'all hear all that banging on down there? Okay, that one will work. I don't want it to look like, you know, I want it to look like it's her lip, you know, like kind of pointy maybe, because I don't want it to look like she's been just ate something. I want it to look like lipstick, you know. We don't want a zombie alligator, even though this is Vicky inspired. But I think with the makeup and the lashes and the fingernail polish, you'll get the idea. You know, you'll get the idea that it's the alligator Avon lady. Avon calling. Ding. Need to get out the sitcom sounds for this. You know, the app, the sitcom app. Hang on. Let's see. I'm sure there's an appropriate. Let's see here. Oh, maybe maybe she is a, what's the word I'm looking for? I got to be careful. You know, we don't want to play too much music, even though this is just an app. Let's see. Okay, all right, enough play there. Okay, ding, yeah, ding dong, Avon calling. The Avon Gator, after all, she needs a lot of makeup. She's looking great so far. Yeah, okay, we understand. We read typos here, Orla. The name of the hat. Yeah, a hat is a fascinator. Yeah, for steampunk, it's a fascinator. If y'all didn't see Dar, oh my gosh, Dar is a steampunk. She had a fascinator. She had everything steampunked up at the steampunk soiree. She even had a, what was the animal that she rode in on? She, no, not sleazy. Okay, all right, let me do her fingernails real quick here. Let me just kind of block them in. Yeah, we'll have to do a poster. We'll have to do a poster of our alligator lady sometime. Okay, so there's our fingernails. All right, let's see. Let me keep blocking in some stuff here. I'm gonna get it all blocked in. She's gonna have some blue. She's gonna have some blue, like this color. It's gonna be in her plates. Okay, she's gonna have this color. It's almost like that's her clothes, you know. This color plates and that color of eyeshadow too. Now we'll make it a little neater, but you get the idea. Okay. think we'll just bring it down into her neck there. Kind of make it look like, you know, it's part of her. Sound effects. Yeah, she had a horse. That's what it was. I couldn't remember. She had some. I knew she had something, a horse or something. But yeah, Dara is. She is the 3D dimensional building queen. I'll tell you. And I'll kind of have them rounded so they look like they're kind of grown out of her neck there, her head. Yes, we will have the long eyelashes. All right, so I'm just trying to get it all base coated in real quick. I say real quick. I'm not gonna hurry. If we have to, we'll go to a part, which I'm sure we'll have to go to a part 2, because it's already, I've got 10 minutes left. I got 10 minutes left, and I'm not finishing this in 10 minutes. Besides, I need to go check on Al, make some coffee. Maybe he might need some coffee. We'll shade all this with color pencil. So let me get her blocked in. Then we'll take a 10-minute break. You know, 10 minutes ought to be good, right? 10, 15. And I'll come back at, come back in about 10, 15 minutes. Now when I come back, I'm going to go ahead and reboot too. I'm going to go ahead and reboot the computer so it doesn't get like herky-jerky from using up, you know, whatever it is it uses up, you know. You don't have to make the wall man a grilled. No, yeah, no, I'm not making him a grilled cheese unless he's. Well, I would, you know, I would. I'd offer. I'd make him a grilled cheese. But you know, I offer him a soda or something. They go, no, we bring our own. So you know. All right, let me get some black out for the inside of her mouth and her cigarette holder. Let's see here. Somehow I got paint there. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Let's get the inside of her mouth. Let me get that back to another reference picture of the mouth. Okay. She's gonna look awesome. I'm confident. All right, let's see how far does her mouth come to about right there. Okay. I'm confident. And I'll put her some white teeth in there. And there's where the handbag is in her mouth right there. Another tooth. There goes the vacuum cleaner again. Well, I shouldn't say it's the vacuum. It's like a shop vac. You know, it's his shop vac. He's not using my vacuum cleaner to suck up drywall dust. At least he better not be. Yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of her gums showing. And, yeah, her white teeth and some gums. So yeah, we'll have this be part 1. I don't know. Do you think I could use Avon in the title? You don't think anybody will come after me for disparaging the name of Avon? I better not, because then I'll get all the makeup girls coming over. I'll get all the makeup girls that do makeup shows coming over where they see the word Avon. And they're going to be, oh my gosh, look what she did for the Avon label, logo, name. So we better not. Okay, my fairy treasures. Pearl drops to go with her pearl necklace. But where's her ear? Like, maybe, no. Where, let me look at it. Where is do alligators have ears? If we did one, it'll be right there. Okay, but I can't really put in an earring without the finding where the scales are going to be for her. Vicky. Okay, so let me quickly block in her teeth and gums. Let's see, do I need a smaller? Yeah, let me go with this brush. What did Rain say? Yeah, backwards. Yeah, yeah. No, we'll just call her the, alligator or something. I don't know. I mean, she really does need a name, like Cleo, or I don't know what kind of we need her name, or should it start with? I mean, I don't want to be like Alligator, but something that goes with alligator would be good. And all these teeth will be you know, toned down and blended in, and a gum line and all that. You have to block it all in. Okay, you have to block it all in first if you're going to color pencil on top of it. Know what I mean, Jules Verne? Don't they have a hole for an ear? I don't see one. I mean, the close-up face I have of here is just scales on its area there. I don't see, but we can don't worry, we can make an ear. But I don't really want to put an earring until we see where all the scales are going to fit in. So what about a name, guys? No, it can't be a crocodile. It has to be something with the gator. Greta Gator. Oh, I like that, Charmer. Greta Gator. I like that, Dana. I like Greta Gator. Because that's kind of like Greta. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's an old-fashioned name, but it's a name you don't really hear. You don't really hear a lot of Gretas. I mean, I think the only Greta can even think of is Greta Van Susteren, the news lady, lawyer lady, lawyer/news lady. That's the only Greta other than Hansel and Greta. No, I know it's Gretel. Um, Alligators and their kin do possess eardrums. You just have to know. This is Eileen, the enabler, information elf. You just have to know where to find them. They're located just behind the eyes and are protected by scaly, movable flaps of skin. The positioning of the ears, in conjunction with the nostrils and eyes, is perfectly suited to the reptilian habit. I like Greta Gator. Al stopped vacuuming down there. Okay, kind of like that. What do y'all think? She's kind of blocked out. Oh, she's gonna need a couple of teeth out here on the end. Should she have one snaggle tooth? Kind of poking out like that. That just adds to it right there, doesn't it? That one little tooth. Okay, let me write that down. Greta Gator. I'm running out of space. Oh, here we go. Greta Gator. Should she have two T's in it? I like the two T's. Hey, Miko. Yes, you're just in time. I'm getting ready to take a break in about 5 minutes. All right. Just got a nostril there. Maybe she needs a nose ring. Oh, yes. Okay, so she's got, that kind of... Let's do her eyes so nobody freaks out. If you're just joining us, Mika or anybody, yes. This is our, and she's creepy looking now, but this is our Avon lady. Overbite. It's our Avon lady. Okay, now, don't forget now, she does have her, let me get it here. She's holding her cigarette holder here. This does not endorse smoking of any type. Okay, just saying. This is just a little, okay. But would she have she'd have one of those fancy cigarettes, wouldn't she? One of those ones that are purple or something like that. Oh, we're totally going off camera here. She'd probably have one of those fancy pink ones or purple, you know, those fancy cigarettes, right? Okay. A vapor cigarette. Well, she wouldn't have a cigarette holder with one of those, would she? I don't know how those vapor ones work, you know? Do they have, do they have, well, I guess they do have, they are a holder, right? They are a holder? I don't know. Anyway, this is, it's kind of, oh wait, you know what? We have to do one more thing here. Let's get a, let me get some white here and black. Maybe a little bit, it needs a little tiny bit of, I got it in my mouth. A little bit, she needs a little bit of an ash, you know? She needs a little bit of an ash, kind of. We'll have to do that with color pencil. All right, let me do her eyes so she's not creepy. All right, so she's going to have a, you know, kind of a lime. Let me get a couple. All right, let me move my books. I got to get over to the pencils here. All right, let's get a couple colors here. I don't want blue. I gotta make sure I get black. Black. Are we having fun yet? We'll do our eye and then we'll start. Then we'll take a break. A green. I need a grass green too. That's kind of a, well, I probably need a bluey green for her eye and her plates. I need just a regular grass green kind of thing. Maybe a couple shades of green and a kind of a, maybe, no, that's not, I need a dark green. Oh, here we go. There we go. Oh my goodness. I could see the brush moving with no hands. You know what? She's going to need a little blush. When you said brush, I thought of blush. She is going to need, under the scales, she's going to need some blush. We'll have to see. I might have to put a, I think it needs to be paint. Let me get a little bit of red and a little bit of white there. Let's make up some blush. You know, because she's got a lot of makeup on. She's kind of gaudy, right? Now we'll blend this in a little better with scales and everything. Oh, more information. Okay, more information on them. They have different families. There are 3 families of crocodiles. The alligator, which includes the alligator and the caimans. The Crocodilidae, which include true crocodiles. And the Gavidae, which contains only the, I don't know what that is. What's a Gharial? I mean, what part of the alligator is that? Or is that just the generic part of it? So the first difference is that alligators and crocodiles are actually in different families. Yeah, that's what we were saying, Vicky. I think we're going to go ahead somehow and hang an earring off of her right here. You know, right in here, something like this. Something like that. But I can't really put it on there until we get the scales and everything worked out. Okay, let's get her eye done. All right, so I'm gonna, yeah, let me go ahead and get her eye done before we have about 5 minutes, if that. If the recording stops, guys, I'll be back for part 2. And if you're here and watching, then you know I already said that. Okay, let me sharpen up some pencils here. I don't want her to look menacing, although I want her to look more of course, she's going to have her eyelash, but again, I can't really put the eyelashes in until we get the scales and all. The eyelashes are like the, you know, what do you call it? The final touches, you know. What, I missed something Dana said. Hang on, Hub's just calling to check on Al. Hey, I'm still streaming. I did go down and check on Al. Yeah, it seems to be. I'm getting ready to go down and check on him again. I hear vacuuming and so. Yeah, I don't know. How long is that going to take? Did he say? Yeah. Okay. So we got to replace a bit of the. Okay. All right. Well, let me go. I'm still live. Bye. It's going to be, he's going to have to come back tomorrow. It's going to be a couple more things I got to do. The other arm needs a phone. Well, if we did a whole poster, you know, at some point, you know, we'd be able to add more of that kind of stuff in, you know. But since I kind of stuck her down here on the bottom of the thing, we're limited in our space. All right, so let's get her some life to her eyes here. You know, she's going to have scales and all kinds of things going on here. Some shadow in her eyeshadow. All right, we need a little... It's awful quiet down there. All right, so I think we got the eye started there. I don't know. She's looking pretty menacing, isn't she? Maybe I can kind of get a little less slit of an eye and a little bit more. What do y'all think? She needs makeup remover wipes. She's like that gal that walks on the Drew Carey show like Mimi. That was Mimi. Oh my gosh, she does, Vicky. Oh my gosh, Drew Carey lady, Mimi. That was her name. Mimi. I'm going to make a note from Drew Carey. Good one. Good one, Vicky. Okay. Yeah, she wasn't. Well, let's just maybe she won't be the Avon lady. I mean, but we're gonna have her have some highlights on her lips, and we're gonna do more. But let's see if you can see her. There's her eye so far, and all this is gonna get blended and scales and all that. But we gotta just take it a little at a time here. She needs just a tiny bit of a small brush. That's a big. Where's a small brush? I just had a small brush. Another small brush. I can't find that small brush. She needs just a touch of. Yeah, Mimi. Yeah, y'all remember Mimi from Drew Carey? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to stop here. We're going to stop this recording. She's coming along. We got a lot of scales and stuff to do, but the recording's getting ready to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and take about a 15-minute break, okay? 10, 15. So I'm going to go ahead and reboot the computer and all that because I can tell it's getting a little jerky there. So if anybody feels like coming back and, and playing some more with our alligator character, then feel free. If not, I totally understand. But yeah, we're gonna have some little more fun with her. But I gotta go check on my drywall guy. Any questions or anything before we go on any of the other things we talked about? Bueller. He knows Dee Dee's voice. He just can't. Okay. All right, guys. So I will be back. I'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes. You can stay here. I'm going to leave, chat will be open. But when I come back, you might have to refresh, because you might have a black screen when I come back. But all right, so I'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes, guys. If you're watching the recording, thanks everybody for being here. I hope it was fun for you. All right, we'll be back, guys.